This goes on car insurance for over 75 years. When Geico started, I wasn't even
Make me look 10 pounds lighter.
I'm going to put it in this corner right here.
Okay.
Let's go down to 170.
I could never do this.
Ready to start your semester? Thought so. But don't worry, we've got you covered at JCPenney. Hurry in and find guys Levi's 511 slim fit jeans for only $39.99. That's the lowest price you'll see all season. Or come in for JCPenney's Super Saturday sale and get $10 off when you spend $25
Hey,
on select items. Create a look that will make you
Tim, you know how I turn off all the extra access right around the
all the
video?
extra numbers and all that?
Yeah.
I do not.
I don't either, honestly.
Honestly.
Maybe it's this.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Political discrimination
You guys
Oh, that was it.
ready for
Yep,
action?
there it is. I did it.
by the federal
You did it? What'd you do?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I just touched the screen, actually.
Oh, okay. It's a touch screen.
The protocol to end political discrimination against women protects the
I believe it's
exercising of their
on
political electoral rights. Get informed at ime.ms.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Mexico is more. Join
that I can
National
see
Electoral
them.
Institute, IME. Today, Mexico is one of the top 15 economies in the
when you're
world,
talking,
meaning that
just
from the
stay
194
consistent.
countries that
And
exist
if
in the
you
world,
turn to
they
talk
are among the
at
strongest
her,
economically
turn
speaking.
this way, just turn everything
To
like
achieve this,
so your
legal,
distance is
commercial,
good.
and
So you always-
infrastructure
there you go.
barriers have been
Pivot
removed.
with the seat.
That's why more businesses are coming to Mexico and are
Perfect.
generating more jobs. With the approach to keep growing and to go even further.
Can you do me a favor?
Moving
Yes.
Mexico.
Can you
Government of the
like
Republic.
record the first like 2 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna say.
What angle
I'll
do
shout
you
to my
want to be
friend.
at?
Oh, whatever.
Over there?
Yeah.
Oh, over there.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers.
Party people, que yo que funky. Suicidal force, que
Record.
yo que funky. The simulation, que yo que funky. Yeah, just hit me.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Vincent Villafranca, host of Smart Move on ESPN AM 1700. We have a really gigantic show today. We have the mayor of National City. But first, before I get into all that, because there's a lot to get into, I want to say congratulations to a friend of mine that's getting married, a couple, Cher Del Carmen Horst, as well as Kelly Simpson. They're getting married next Saturday, and the reception will be in Chula Vista. And also want to say shout out to part of her crew, the matron of honor, Merly Garcia, Leilani Richter, Anna Torres, Grace Gann Tabaris, Emma Guarnes, Marissa Bandala, Ellen, otherwise known as Noelani Kealoha, Linda Acosta, and Jory Glian. And again, a big hi to my wife, Donna Villafranca, as well as my kids, Tiffany, Krishna, and Kylie. But so right now we're going to get into what's going on with the National City. So Ron Morrison is here, as along with his executive assistant, Josie. So how are you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
I'm doing great too. Since we had that meeting a couple days ago, I didn't know, I wasn't sure what I was going to say because I don't follow a lot of politics. I sell real estate full time. If you ever need a good realtor, you can always reach me direct at 619-972-8798. And I've been selling real estate for almost 15 years. And I want to get into really quickly, initially, with America, because he's been, I would call a National City native. You're a graduate of Sweetwater High School, is that right?
That's correct.
And that was
Red Devil for life.
Red Devil for life. That's right. What about you, Josie? Are you from National City as well? Are you from the outside areas or?
Bonita.
Oh, Bonita. So again, another San Diego County native. But I want to get right into the real estate part of it because that's what I do. 91950 National City. I sold 2 properties in the last 3 months. One for $495,000 off of Division Street. I represented the buyer, and there were multiple offers on that. National City, multiple offers for almost $500,000. A few years ago, wasn't that a little unheard of, or what do you guys think about that for almost $500,000?
Well, you know, as we all know, the market was really picking up until late 2006, and
Right.
then all of a sudden the bottom dropped out.
Right.
And the real estate market, housing dropped down drastically, and the prices were artificially inflated, so it dropped down drastically. Rental prices went up because, as I say,
They're staying up too. They're not.
They're staying up, yeah,
Landlords
exactly.
aren't being the nicest people around.
Yeah.
They're just raking at them.
But people are starting to discover. I mean, National City was that area where you could afford to buy a home. You could get into nice neighborhoods, great schools, everything
Exactly.
else, and people started seeing that maybe some of the things they heard weren't quite true.
There are 21 detached homes for sale right now. I checked the MLS yesterday. in National City priced from $349 all the way to $550 on the high end. 21 domes, and I'm pretty sure I made a couple of calls, and there's already offers coming in on all the properties. And there are 5 condo townhomes, and that's it. So 26 homes, and that's it. That's it. And I'm sure, like what we were saying, well, there's only a couple of reasons why people actually want to sell in National City. They're either moving out of town, upgrading. There's not once you move there, you typically don't leave.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's normally the deal, you know, either your job has moved you.
Right.
And even in that case, most of those people hold on to the home and put it out for rent, because you get more for
Right.
rent than you have to pay for your mortgage. The typical one is people die.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
you know, you hate to say it, but that's basically it, because people, you know, once they move there, they don't leave.
Or an occasional military transfer,
Right.
or an upgrade, but yeah, so they sell for different reasons. But they normally, once if the family's okay, they just stay there.
Exactly.
If something happens, then they move or something like
Very generational there. I mean, you've got
Right.
just one generation after another. You know, even the council, which is unheard of in California, because everyone moves. Everyone came from somewhere else here in California.
Yeah,
And, you know, and
yeah.
everyone's constantly moving. We have 7 elected people in National City. All of them graduated from Sweetwater High School. You know, which is like
Right.
unheard of in this state, that you would have homegrown people actually doing your governance.
that. Yeah, I moved there with my family in 1969. My father was in the military, obviously, and then we had a property right across the street from Kimball Park that was across from St. Mary's Church. There were some duplexes there. I think it's since then they abandoned them and they built new ones there in
Correct.
the 70s.
Yep.
But yeah, that's where we moved, and I remember there when I was like 3 years old, running around the top of the hill there. But it was an interesting area to grow up in because it was great. You know, it was very old school, Brady Bunch, very safe, and that was in the early 70s.
Correct.
But yeah, since then we could talk about real estate all day long because there's so much happening there. But I want to get into really quickly, not quickly, but all the achievements that has happened in the last 8 years since you took office. You became the mayor in 2006, right?
2006, exactly.
And prior to that, you were part of the council.
I was on the council for 14 years before that, and then
You were on that. That's a long time. to be on the council.
that is ancient in political terms. Yes.
14 years.
Yeah.
So going from a council
Mm-hmm.
to mayor, what brought you to what made you do that? Because that's a big move.
It is, you know, council. Let's say you're one of 5, and
Right. You got to get
you
along
know,
with everybody and that
right.
sort of thing.
And whether if you like it or not, the mayor is still the one who leads the city.
Right.
And so, you know, I'd seen the direction it was going. I'd worked with 2 different mayors during those 14 years,
Mm-hmm.
respected the position for both of them, but I disagreed with the direction.
Right.
And so that was, you know, I finally decided, hey, I need to step forward. And let's see if we can't take this city in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the last 10 years, that's what we've been doing, and we're getting pretty good responses from everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean I've heard nothing but good things. Since 2006, I got this great. I did some research and I got the bio from Josie and I got different things about it. Well, number one thing that I've seen, there's National City was voted one of the most walkable cities in all of San Diego County. What does it mean when they said walkable? Is that because there's what did that mean when they said?
Well,
say
that's
that?
what you do as far as for planning. You plan out, you know, the sidewalks. You plan out how to get people across streets, and especially in an urban environment and an older urban environment. You know, we're sandwiched between on 2 sides by the city of San Diego, one side by the city of Chula Vista, and the other one's, you know, the Bay.
Right.
And you can't tell where one city begins and the other one ends. I mean, it's just constant housing. We're very dense. Old school. We were built for something more in the early 1900s, but now we've got transportation for 2016. You got all the cars, the traffic, everything else that's going on with it, and so you got to adapt. And so what we do is we've tried to adapt to this, and the region has looked at National City and says, guess what? We see what you're doing. And a lot of people don't want to make all these changes. You guys are making all kinds of changes, and you're planning for more growth. You're planning for people to be able to be out on the street, not just a car environment.
Right. Right.
You want to balance it between the needs for transportation with automobiles, buses, and things along that line, but also so the pedestrians can be on the street, can get across the street even.
And another thing I was looking at, National City, the crime rate has dropped 25% since 2006.
Right.
Now, how do they measure that? Like when people say stuff, how do they measure that, and what goes into
Okay.
making the statistics?
Those are stats that go as far as arrests, actual crime reports, all the
it's like
different
an
things.
overall. thing
Those
they
go
just
to the
look at.
FBI. The FBI comes back with all of those statistics
Right.
in. And so yeah, crime has dropped drastically, and the type of crime has dropped drastically. To be honest with you, most of the stuff is more about dealing with family members.
Right.
Is a good amount of the crime anymore.
Right.
And the other thing that we
Domestic
find,
stuff. That's it.
yeah, it's a lot of domestic stuff, which all counts. But it's not the idea of, if you're coming into town, you fear that something's going to happen to you type of thing. So much of that stuff has changed drastically. Good example, Kimball Park, we have our July 4th celebration. It's 5 or 6 days long. Used to be
That's a
that
long
was
celebration.
that was a long celebration, and
Right.
it used to be, once it got evening time, families left because it wasn't too safe after dark.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like this year, we closed down at 11 o'clock. We have to tell all the families, okay, it's time to take your kids home.
Right.
It's the most safe thing you've ever seen in your life. People are loving it to be able to be out on the streets. The environment has changed drastic. When we do have incidents and they're solved, hate to say it, but almost every time we do it, it's someone from some other city coming over and causing problems. So they may, the crime they committed may have been in our city, but guess what? They live next to you in another city.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth in National City since I was 3 years old. So I've personally seen changes. Also, I've seen businesses pop up, new buildings pop up. I've seen, remember in the 80s when they had the whole, the cruising thing up and down Highland?
Yes.
That's completely gone.
Right.
Nobody, I think everybody now is my age. Everybody's 60 now, so we
Well,
don't do that.
it's-
But that's gone.
Oh,
It's
well,
not, it's non-existent.
Cruising is still out there.
Right.
The interesting thing is we have
I
like
haven't seen it.
yeah, well, it's in other communities.
Yes.
But what we've done in our community, because it reached a destructive stage, and it wasn't because of the lowriders. The lowriders themselves,
no.
I mean, those cars are pieces of art.
Oh, yeah.
And the last thing they want is any trouble around their car.
Right.
But it was all the people that it attracted. And so what we did, we channeled with the lowriders, and so we have the lowrider community. They meet once a month at the police station. I meet with them, and they coordinate all kinds of different activities. So now, when we do turkey giveaways at Thanksgiving with the police department, lowriders are the ones that are at the door handing the turkeys to people. They're working with the police department when we do cleanups, when we do different community deals. There was a young boy who was paraplegic. They went in, and low-income family, single mom, they went in completely, as lowriders, they went in completely redid that house, and he loved police officers. So what did they do? They went and had his bed, which is one of these mechanical beds, made up and done, went out and done in blue Metaflake, and all done in police colors. And now it's a lowrider bed for him. But these are the kinds of things. So we've channeled that stuff. So now they are a huge community asset, getting involved, same time getting to display their cars at the same time.
And a lot of people think when you look at car clubs, for example, the Corvette Car Club of San Diego, Porsche Car Club of San Diego, the lowriders, it's the same thing. All it is the car culture. People buy these cars, they restore
Absolutely.
them, and they fix them up, and they cruise them. That's all they're doing.
They spend huge amounts of money
Right.
and time and effort on these things. And I say they're works of art. They really are.
Yeah, no, I've seen them. I've seen really, really nice paint jobs. I've seen different car clubs. I'm going down to Cars and Coffee and all these things, and it's just different types of cars, and it's really, really cool. Some are doing the oldies, lowriders, exotics. So it's just all it is a culture of people who take pride in what they're doing to their vehicles. So that's huge. The crime rate has dropped, and we can't associate again lowriders, car clubs with gang violence because it's completely opposite.
It's gangs and lowriders are two entirely separate things.
Right. Now, you've done a lot since then, since new businesses have popped up. One of the things that I saw here was the Nordstrom's rack. Remember Plaza Bonita?
Right.
That mall, I think it was built in the 70s. I remember going there when I was in
Correct.
the 7th grade. And the mall, and then you were part of the expansion of that. Now, what has that mall done to the city? I mean, it's like the hub of business, or one of the hubs of business in National City, right?
Plaza Bonita has just went crazy, and
Right.
we went through an expansion, and this is a time when everybody else was cutting back. So they did a $134 million expansion, and when they did it, they were doing it right in the middle of that recession, and they'd used numbers from before the recession, which showed they had to hit certain benchmarks to be able to pay for this thing. Well, guess what? So the recession hit, you had shopping malls shutting down, you had stores going vacant. Plaza Bonita went right through the roof went through all the projections that were actually based on a 1990s economy, not what we had happen in 2006.
Right.
So, so right now, you know, and I always say this, they kind of hate for me to say this, but my slogan for Plaza Bonita always has been, you can find anything you want at Plaza Bonita,
You can.
except a parking space.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's the problem. That place is so popular.
Right.
And even though you got shopping malls and shopping centers in our South County area that are not doing well and they're having problems, everything else, Plaza Bonita just is kicking. I don't know how else to put it.
So they can't make it larger. I mean, it's almost built out. There's no more room for it to expand anymore.
Yeah, well, to expand more, they got to they put in a parking structure for this last expansion.
Right.
They're going to have to put in another one for another expansion. They are talking about that because they are getting so much interest there. Almost all of the stores that are in that shopping mall and in the food court are the #1 in San Diego County or the #1 in Southern California or California even. They all do extremely well. What we are doing is right across the street. There's the Outback right across the street. That's a area right now. It's kind of a wooded area. So we're talking CarMax going in there, and so to be a complement to Plaza Bonita.
Okay. So we'll be right back in a couple of minutes. We'll be talking about National City, the improvements in the school districts, new businesses popping up, and a lot of things that are happening that are really positive there. So you can always reach me direct, your San Diego Realtor, Vincent Villafranca at 619-972-8798. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. We're already almost done, see?
In third grade, there's one way to
So now we're going
protect
to talk
yourself.
about the schools, how they've improved.
Now that you're mostly
dramatically.
grown up, pick up
And
a
then we'll
dash
talk
camera
about,
now for just $39.99. With 8 gigs of storage, a wide-angle lens, and loop recording, it's
Schools,
everything you
proposition,
need
oh,
to
how you
protect yourself on the
rebuilt
road.
Sweetwater High School.
The
We'll
Napa
talk
dash
about
cam
we'll talk
for
about that.
$39.99. It's
And
no fun,
then
not
we'll
just
get
Napa
into
Kid, but just
new
as effective.
businesses.
That's Napa
Freddy's, the retirement community.
And participating Napa Auto Parts stores while
I even got the Parkview. I
The
even
work
read
party is
research on
more
that.
alive than ever.
And what else do you want to talk
highlighted by
about?
the
The
trust
marine,
shown by
the
the
port,
people of
or
Mexico.
Yeah, the port and marina is the huge part.
the balance. Okay, the balance plan. Okay, we'll jump right into that.
Okay.
Thanks
The
to your
balance
vote,
plan.
got it.
PT grows and
Want to do the balance
strengthens,
plan now, or do you want to do the schools now?
reinforcing their commitment with Mexico.
Why don't we do the
They
schools
will
now, then we go in the balance
continue to be
plan.
the
Okay,
opposition that
schools
the
and
people
balance plan,
demand.
and then the businesses.
They will not fail you.
It's a lot.
Work
You could do this for.
Oh, yeah.
Proudly
Oh, yeah.
from the left wing.
In Mexico, they are committed to the care of their forests,
1 minute.
which are the lungs of the planet. When you plant
Take
a
the eating
tree,
profile
you
pic.
protect the present and the future of
I
the
got
new
you some good
generations.
ones.
Plant
Okay.
your future. National Reforesting Campaign 2016. National
Gonna
Forest
sleep these
View.
out?
Secretary of Environment
Okay.
and Natural Resources.
I always get one
Government
with the
of the
flag,
Republic.
too.
This program is public, unrelated to any political party, and shall not be used
Alright.
for
I'll send it to
purposes
you.
So then all those.
participating
You take
in
a
the
bunch of pictures of us.
Yes, I
There's
sent a
something
bunch to you right
everyone
now,
is sure
too.
about is the Mexican ingenuity, but it's only recently the government started to believe in it as well. Now they're looking to promote 2 million new ideas, 2 million new entrepreneurs that are creating jobs. The idea is to eliminate all the barriers, so with these good ideas, Mexicans can make their country shine even brighter. If you have a brilliant idea, get connected at gov.mx.
Talk about Trump? No Trump talk?
Government.
No, I can't trump that.
Okay. And we're back. This is Vincent Villafranca, San Diego Realtor, host of Smart Move. You can always reach me direct if you want excellent real estate services at 619-972-8798. I'm sitting here with the Mayor, Ron Morrison, the current Mayor of National City. And we're going to be talking about some of the schools that are there now. Granger Junior High School. Since 2011, the number of National City schools meeting California's academic performance has doubled. How do you do that? That's only been a few years. I mean, how do you double academic performance? I mean, what has happened to the schools?
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal situation. Our schools were on the state watch list, which once you get on
In the
that watch,
90s? Was that the 90s?
yeah,
Or
that was
not
from the
really?
90s,
Yeah.
early 2000.
Right.
It's almost impossible to get off that watch list. It's very, very difficult to get off that watch list. Not only did our schools get off the watch list, but as you say, then they went into this idea of schools of excellence and went right from being on those ones that were needing to have to be looked at because of problems and not achieving, to going to ones that were overachievers. And as I say, we pushed a lot on the school district. School district was very responsive to it, started putting more resources into our schools. And as I say, there ended up being just a whole new idea of Pride. It was not, okay, we got to do school. No, we're here, we're excited about school, we're going to do great things with these kids. Got very innovative. The whole attitude changed drastically.
Right.
Now these schools are just excelling beyond belief.
And then through Proposition Noah, you were able to reconstruct Sweetwater High School. How has
Sweetwater
that
Hi-
impacted the city, the new school?
Yeah, well, Sweetwater High School is kind of the soul of National City.
Exactly, it is.
Yeah.
Very proud. They're very prideful. Anybody who went to Sweetwater, they're very proud. Of their
Yeah,
school.
you're a Red Devil, or
Yes,
you
exactly.
just aren't. It's a great opportunity. The school was deteriorating. It's the oldest school
Sure.
in not only the district, the second oldest school in San Diego County.
Because National City is a very old city. It's been around
Exactly.
forever. Right?
And so it was a situation. It was very deteriorated. We had a lot of discussions with the school district. They started out with very small plans.
Right.
We kind of, I kept pushing on them, and we had a lot of meetings with the leadership at that time. They expanded the plans. They kept expanding them. We pushed on them some more. They finally expanded out to what you see now, this 3-story building that's a great complex that's got all of also the theater, phenomenal. And it was interesting, so that when we went to go ahead and open it, they go, well, how do you want to do the opening? And I said, well, what do you do with your other schools? They said, well, we have a little private party, and we bring in the finance people, and we bring in the contractors, and we have a nice little party. And I said, well, that doesn't cut it National City.
Right.
So what we did was we closed Highland Avenue from 30th Street to 24th Street, and we brought in stages, we brought in restaurants, and we threw a citywide block party to celebrate the new building. So we did it different than anybody else did. And we had to take care of that because they couldn't use the school money off of school property. And since we were out in the street,
That's a giant closing. I mean, that's huge.
the idea of closing Highland Avenue,
No,
yeah.
that's unheard of.
Yeah,
That's
but
like
as I say,
closed
but that shows you
Avenue.
what that school means to that
Yes,
community.
yes,
And we
exactly.
just had a ball doing it. But that's the way that community is. And I mean, very, very loyal to that school. And it's not just that that's the school in your neighborhood. That's our school. And
Exactly.
it's amazing difference.
It's a big source of pride, and also you brought in through your initiatives, you brought in $75 million in order to improve some of the cities, adding asphalt and reconstructing sidewalks and fixing potholes, that sort of thing for the roads.
Well, before 10 years ago, basically what the city brought in grants to do these type of projects, and not only projects but also programs, was about $1 million to $1.5 million a year. We are averaging now closer to $30 million a year that we're bringing in on these, and some years more than that.
Right.
And to do all this different street work, you walk, matter of fact, on Facebook last night, some people were complaining about,
On your Facebook page?
on my Facebook page, but it's nice the construction, but you're overdoing it. We got too much construction going on in National City, and I'm going, you can't have too much of a free thing. And and to get all this grant money and do all this stuff,
Sure.
and indeed, it's going to be some inconvenience for a time, but we're doing just tons of work, whether it's the streets, the parks,
They're improvements.
you name it,
These are
everywhere.
improvements, so
Yeah.
you got to bear with it for a while, but then at the end you're like, oh great, I'm glad the mayor did that.
Well, that's what everyone is saying now. When we did 8th Street, everyone hated 8th Street while it was during construction. Now, 99% of people, some people still don't like it because they can't drive 80 miles an hour on 8th Street anymore. We've deliberately slowed them down.
8th Street, that's where they have the Zarlitos. Right?
Yes, yes.
And then you have Poke, etc. right down the street there.
Exactly,
So
yes.
I frequent both those places because
Right.
they sell Poke there
Uh-huh.
from Hawaii.
I know, yeah,
raw fish. I eat
exactly.
I eat it up like crazy.
I love pokey.
Now I have a question. This is off the topic, but Zarlitos, that has been there for quite some time,
Right.
right? That's pretty much kind of a staple for Filipinos in National City, right? I mean, they always go there. It's 24 hours.
You have that. You have right across the street. You have a whole shopping center that's Filipino
right. The Filipino
businesses.
Press and all this other stuff is out
Right,
there.
restaurants, everything, and grocery stores there. Then you go over on Plaza Boulevard,
Right.
and from just past Highland on out to the end of
Sure.
eastward, you got one Filipino business after another. It is just it's amazing, and that's one of the reasons why, even though our census population, the people that actually live in National City, is 60,000, is what they tell us. But our daytime population hovers between 120 and 150,000.
We were talking about that. People are coming into the city. These new businesses are
All the
coming in.
shopping, everything else. I think our Filipino population, about triples or quadruples during the daytime. It's amazing.
Because people like I live in Otay Ranch.
Sure.
Right. So what I do, is when I want to eat Filipino food or if I want to go Zarlitz, I'm going to National City.
Absolutely.
That's what's happening here, right?
People want good Mexican food, they come to National City. Want
Exactly.
Plaza Bonita, they do there. Of course, then you've got Naval Base, you got everything else under the sun, all there in that very concentrated area, which gives us a lot of opportunities, gives us a lot of challenges too. But you know, that's a good thing.
No, it's nothing but positive things that are coming in, and businesses are popping up. I belong to the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm seeing all these businesses are popping up in the city. But before we get into that, we want to talk about the balance plan. That's what you're working on now. Now, what exactly is that? Because I have this note of that. What exactly is that with the port relationship?
Well, that's with the Port of San Diego. And of
Right.
course, when you think of the Port of San Diego, you think of the city of San Diego. And the Port of San Diego is 5 cities. It's the city of San Diego, Coronado, Imperial Beach, Chula Vista, and National City. So it's 5 cities. And as you take a look at the port in the other cities, you see a lot of parks, you see hotels, you see all this nice, you know, the Embarcadero, we're always used to that.
Exactly.
When you want to see this, whenever they show a picture of San Diego, it's normally the skyline of the port area of downtown San Diego, which is all put in with the port.
Or that big Barrio sign. Remember that one, that
The
big
new-
sign
the
they
big
built? That
Barrio
one
sign?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
show that. I've seen that.
Oh yeah, they push
That's
that.
a beautiful sign.
That's a beautiful sign. We want one of those beautiful signs too. And but it's a situation. How do they pay for that? Well, a big part of how they pay for that is the National City Bayfront, which is all industrial and under the guise of the port, and so they make money there and they spend it for the parks and the hotels and all the nice things in the other cities, and. So, and we get all the traffic and the fumes, everything else. So that's what we get out of the deal, and the other cities get all the nice things.
Right.
And so that's when I was kind of going with my little timeout signs and saying, you know, that's enough of this. And so that's a battle that I've been having with the port. We're at the point now where we've presented what we call a balanced plan, brought this thing forward, where it brings together not only it helps out the maritime, we don't want to take away from the maritime, and at the same time, it helps commercial, as bringing in hotels, different things along this line that can bring revenue back into our city and not just revenue in other cities. And it gives public amenities and public access. So it's a balance because it takes care of all of those different needs and at the same time mitigates for the extra capacity that the maritime is going to be doing. They bring in, this last year, 400,000 cars, automobiles that they imported through National City.
Right there, right, yeah.
National City gets 0 pennies for that. All that, and they make money off all that, that all goes over to the other cities. So we're saying, wait a minute, it's time for National City. If we're just going to be a provider for everybody else, we need to get something out of this also. And so that's where that balanced plan has come out. Right now, we've got verbal agreement from everyone. Everyone's come to this table, and miraculously, because this never happens with the port, everyone's singing Kumbaya. Our deal is now is to get that signed, get that in full print, get everyone to sign with the blood of their firstborn male child. We want to make sure this thing, you know, does not go away. And so that the people of National City have some assurances that we've got a legitimate reason for being part of the port. And, you know, and if we're going to be providing this for everybody else, what's the people of National City getting out of it?
So in the port area where National City and San Diego meet, are there any plans in the further future to build hotels, or like what's going to happen there? Because there's so much potential there, right?
Well, it's all happening down in the area by 24th and Interstate 5, in that area down there. We have some sites already for hotels. We were meeting with people just this last week on hotels across from the Marina Gateway Plaza hotel that we already built there. It's doing so well. You know, you normally when you do a first hotel in an industrial area, you're not going to get a Marriott or a Hyatt or one of the high-end hotels. But the last thing you want to do is build, I hate to pick on them, an Easy 8 hotel, and then you're stuck with it.
Or yeah, right.
You know,
Or you're stuck with that environment.
You're stuck with that environment after everything else develops.
Right.
So what we did was we said, okay, we had a developer want to put in a hotel. We said, okay, we don't care who your operator is, but we want the building built to at least 3-star standards, so that later on you can always change operators,
Right.
but you can't change the building. So they have a Best Western in there. So you got this building.
That's pretty good. That's not-
It's
yeah,
a good
yeah,
operator.
yes,
It's a good
yes.
operator. But but you got Best Western, which normally do 1.5 or 2-star hotels. You got them in a 3-star plus. So what you've got is you're paying Best Western prices, and you're getting all the
getting a
amenities
better
and the
hotel.
rooms for
3-star, right.
So that hotel now has been almost 6 years. It's been in operation. In the San Diego major region, if you've got an occupancy rate of 60% year-round, you are doing phenomenal. This one, for the past 6 years now, has been averaging 93% occupancy rate. It's killing. And
So,
they're-
90, so who's staying there? Just people vacationing in and out of San Diego? Like, who's staying there?
You get corporate, you get people that are vacationing, you got people from the
You
convention center.
sure.
It's right next
Oh,
to the trolley
yeah, it's right
stop.
there, yeah.
You're 3 stops away from downtown.
Oh, interesting.
You can get a room that's as nice or nicer than downtown rooms, and you're
Right.
paying a fraction of the price. So you're getting a lot of that. Initially, we were getting a lot of people wanting to do, in the South Bay, wanting to do class reunions there and everything. Now it's harder to get the rooms to be able to do that, simply because it's become so popular. So it's, a lot of activity there. And so they want to build another hotel across the street and put the amenities there. Then down at the marina itself, we have room now for 2 more hotels to go in there and enlarge our park. Double the size of our park, just do a whole lot of activity in there to really enliven that. We have Pier 32, the marina, which has done fantastically well. It's got a great restaurant. They're on the waterfront. People are discovering it down there. Once they find it, they're like down there, at least weekly.
Have you been down to Imperial Beach where they have this new restaurant called C180, Town
Yes.
180?
Yes.
That's a gorgeous area.
That
is.
is.
They really, IB is looking awesome. Me and my wife, we go out there to eat once in a while. I mean, they have the beach there, they have the view of Point Loma, and they have a great restaurant. Is that what the envision is, to have that environment, like a beach and that sort of thing?
That is exactly the environment. You got to realize that Imperial Beach is part of the port,
Yes.
but they don't really have on the bay side. There's no activity on the bay side.
Right.
So guess what? The port does. They pay for all their oceanfront stuff. So
Oh.
that's a lot of port activity that you're seeing there.
Yes.
So
It's
that's
great,
money.
great restaurants.
That's money that they're making in National City off all those cars, and then doing all that oceanfront improvements that you're seeing down there
Right,
in
right.
in IB, which is great, and we want to see that happen down there.
So you want that same thing to happen in National City?
Right.
It's definitely possible. You have the land there, and its location is awesome.
Right.
So
But as I say, we want to do so. We want to be able to balance that with not hurting the maritime that's already there. As a matter of fact, and even allowing them to actually enhance their opportunities.
we'll be back in a couple of minutes. This is Vincent Villafranca, host of Smart Move. If you need a realtor, you can always reach me direct at 619-972-8798. New businesses. There's a lot of new businesses coming into National City. You'll be surprised at what's coming in. Stay tuned. You'll be surprised. So come back in a couple minutes. Almost done.
No problem.
This is John Feinstein with the CBS Sports Minute, brought to you
Almost
by
done.
National
Okay.
Association Realtors.
Okay, we'll talk about
Let me make one thing clear
Super
today.
Subaru.
I grew up in New York City. I'm a proud
any more
I've
stuff that
always
you want to
been
get
a
in the
fan of
maritime?
New York
Anything else you
teams.
want
Sure,
to
I'm a
specifically?
lifelong Mets fan,
State
but
of
I've
city
always
address.
respected
Well,
Make
we'll
sure
mention
you-
we can mention the state of the city
Baseball
address
is
also.
my favorite
Okay.
Our crazy
baseball
say the city
manager,
address.
but I
Okay,
had to say
we'll do that
something
towards
very
the end. Let's talk about the new
clearly
business.
today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right at the end we do that.
To shame
Yeah.
as a baseball fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our state of the city
The
address
Red
is
Sox
different.
have an abandoned
We go
It's so much
crazy.
fun.
We have fun.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, we do not want to have a boring speech.
No.
So year before last, the year before last, it was me and Tom Cruise doing everything and calling it Mission Possible.
You and Tom Cruise?
And the Red Sox
Oh, interesting.
won't
I'll have to get you
I want to
the
meet Tom Cruise.
and
How do we get there?
and let's see. Last year we did the Academy Awards last year.
Right.
Yeah, we had Academy Awards last year done. And so every year we
Year
do.
before that was what?
and the
Woke up in
skills
bed
to
with
take
Tony
them where
McHugh.
their dreams
Yeah, and
Oh, whatever happened to him?
and Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes.
Students grade by at least one full
What happened to him,
grade
the McCune guy? Is he still
Yeah,
around?
he's Joe, definitely still around. Him and his wife Nancy, they're out. They do a lot of
Are you still doing
traveling.
cars? No.
No, he sold his car dealership. And him and his wife are doing a lot of traveling. She's into ethnic cooking. So they travel all over the world cooking stuff.
The affordable
We're actually on a cruise right now. They just left today
visualize math
to
concepts with engaging and dynamic lessons.
Alaska.
Students learn at their own
Alaska, yeah,
pace.
they'll be
Call
back on the
1-866-598-MATH
third, and then we're having lunch.
Wow.
or
He's
visit
enjoying
mathmagazine.com.
retirement.
Ready
Enjoying
for the
his
math-
1 minute.
very comfortable retirement he's
Now that the
made for
kids are
himself.
getting back to school,
My mom bought
make
a
sure
car for
your
him, like,
child gets a head
15 years
start
ago.
in the new school
Chrysler.
year with Math Made Easy. Turn
Still has it.
frustration into a Call now 1-866-598-MATH 1-866-598-6284.
In Mexico, finding
You recorded,
the
like, the
best phone
first
service for
2 or
you
3
has
minutes?
become
Okay.
much
Yeah.
easier.
It wouldn't let me
PIFT
record the whole thing.
offers you telecommunications
It wouldn't let me record the
service
whole thing.
comparison.
Oh, that's fine.
So when you sign up
You
for
got the
a
shout-out thing,
telephone
though, right?
service,
Okay.
mobile, or restricted television, you can choose the company and plan that
So you got
best
about 2
fits
minutes maybe?
your
Like
needs.
1 minute? Yeah, that's
Go
fine.
to comparador.ift.org.mx. The IFT is with you. Federal Institute of Telecommunications.
There's some good pictures.
I want to start breakdancing. And we're back. This is Vincent Villafranca, host of Smart Move on ESPN AM 1700. I'm sitting here with the current mayor of National City, Ron Morrison. When I went to his office a couple days ago, I was astonished as to what's moving into National City in terms of new businesses. And there's a big laundry list of great businesses. For example, the first one that's going to pop up I want to talk about is CarMax. Is that right?
CarMax, yes.
If any of you have been to a CarMax, they're usually gigantic used car dealerships, and they're very high quality, very good cars. What's the outlook on that? Is that coming soon or in the next year? When is that coming into CarMax?
Yeah, we have just finished off the agreements with them, and so they are finalizing their environmental documents and everything. They'll be right next to Plaza Bonita, and they'll have about a 10-acre site there, and they are ready to go.
They're big.
They are big.
CarMax is big.
They are big.
And they're good. They go, you walk in there, they estimate your car real fast in like 20 minutes, and then pick a car. They're it's kind of like, I don't want to say Walmart, but they just churn volume, and they're not running around trying to there's some guy walking around, trying to give you not a great deal. They give you good deals on cars, so that'll be probably one of the great business hubs. How will that affect the other used car dealers? Like, for example, if Chevy's has their used car lot, will it affect them or just add more competition to the area, or what's going to happen?
What has happened, I know when they did the CarMax up in Claremont Mesa,
Right.
the car dealers up there were really nervous.
Oh yeah, they should be. CarMax is good.
But what it ended up doing, it actually drove more sales for them, because CarMax does a lot of advertising. And so people
For
go to
the
the
area,
CarMax.
for the area.
Yeah, and so
Right.
then when they're there, they go and look at the other cars then. And the other car dealerships, their sales actually went up.
Right.
And so we anticipate the same thing happening here. And I say we got the Mila cars there, which was the original car park for
They've
the
been
whole
there
United
forever.
States,
Right.
has spent a ton of money and time, everything else.